The following podcast has been brought to you by Audible.com. Sign up now using the URL audibletrial.com/TTV to get a free audiobook of your choosing. We recommend Brick by Brick, How LEGO Rewrote the Rules of Innovation and Conquered the Global Toy Industry. You may recognize this as one of the sources we use in our show, BIONICLE Autopsy. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/TTV. Enjoy the show. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 186 of the TTV Podcast.
My God.
Man, I thought you would fix it,
everybody.
I thought you would be like this.
Hey guys,
The second time recording this.
to be here.
The second time recording this and you still phoned it in!
It's just so blah. I just say kid.
Oh my God.
Did anyone say? Did
My
anyone say?
thing was that he fluctuated his tone. At first he was like, hello everybody.
I was like,
You were excited at first and then you just gave up.
I was like, do I want to be
Yeah, he's
excited? No.
It's like, okay, I can do this. Yeah.
It's like he lost momentum halfway. He's like, hello, welcome to
He's like a fat guy who just decided he's gonna go jogging for his New Year's resolution and like took like 4 steps out of his house
Yeah,
and was like, never mind, this isn't for me.
He's like a fat guy who swan dived off a diving board and then decided to go for a cannonball at the last second.
He's like a fat guy.
Also Mardi
No
Gras.
offense to fat people.
It didn't
Yeah,
say.
alright.
How is
Not
that
to shame fat people, but
It's okay, I'm one of you.
fat people. No offense to fat people. That's what you were. Speaking of fat people, who are we?
Wow. How can you do this, Kahi?
That's quite triggering, bro.
Trigger.
Hey man. I'm not that
my-
fat.
You ain't fat. You ain't fat. You ain't nothing.
I'm one of the thinner fat guys,
You're
bro.
not fat. Nobody's fat.
Alright.
Oh boy. All right.
So?
Well, I'm Meso.
If you had been like, I'm fat Messinac, I would have loved you.
I'm
I'm fat Anac. I would have been so proud, Meso. But no, okay.
I'm Fatteran.
I'm Eljay.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
You should have said L fat.
Fine. Hey, I'm Fat Eljay.
I'm fat Kahi.
I'm fat.
I'm Cyper.
Thick. I am 56 kilogram Takuma Nuva.
I'm Fat Trooper.
This is TTV
Mine was
186.
so easy.
Someone right now is just sitting at their computer screen, incredibly triggered. They are already typing an angry comment as we speak.
What are you guys doing? What is this intro?
Okay, listen, guys. Since we're a LEGO Bionicle podcast, we aren't fat. We're heavily armored.
Let's look at Onua.
We ain't nothing.
We're a bunch of Onuas, indeed.
TTV
We
186.
just have big bones
Yeah.
Look
You
at
have big joints.
and pistons.
Yeah, man. Look at Onua.
Thick
These are
pistons.
cool. Listen, Meso, we're only following in your steed. You're the leader here, and since you phoned it in, we're phoning it in as well.
That's okay. Fine by me.
You will lead us into victory.
You know what else is pretty fine? Vessel's new plan!
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? Vessel just introduced something really, really awesome. For one thing, if you're a Vessel Early Access subscriber, which means you pay, like, I don't know, $3 a month, you are now ad-free. There are no ads for any Vessel Early Access subscribers, so not only can you watch all of our content a week in advance before anyone else on YouTube or anything, like YouTube, Vessel, now you can watch all of our content a week early without advertisements. Is that not amazing? It's pretty amazing. Guess what else? You can also decide if you want to pay $3 a month or the new plan, which is $19.99 a year, which is actually quite a lot of savings if you are planning on subscribing for a long period of time.
Right.
So I would recommend doing that. Obviously, if not, you can still do the $3 a month one. It's fine,
Almost
too.
50% off.
It
It
actually
is. It's like
It is. It's a crazy good deal.
It's $36 like for a year if you pay $3 a month. If you pay for 1 year right up front, it's $19. It's so much better. I immediately signed up for that.
It's the price of 10 fewer pencils.
Your pockets can be fat with money. The money that you're going to save with the new Vessel
Dude,
plan.
my dad was a
From
pocket
Meso.
full of money, and I find that really just...
I got a pocket full of money.
X, you don't know how happy you make me when you speak.
Yeah,
I've got
Vessel's
a pocket
great.
full of money.
I feel the same.
Vessel's
about
great. You can go on Vessel. You can pay early access. You can help support us and help us keep making shows just like this one, especially if you enjoy our podcast and anything like that. We also have some early access exclusives like the Undertale Let's Play and the after show of Rip in Peace. So you can check out the older episodes, the archive of the after show.
Wow.
Nice.
It will return.
It will return one day.
Cool, Iron Man.
But yeah, so there's still some quite enjoyable things to take out of Vessel Early Access. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing, and it really helps us
so
out.
much better than pencils.
If you pay $19.99
Way
for
better
a
than
full
pencils.
year, you'll save $16 and be ad-free. It's actually pretty cool nowadays. Cheers to Vessel for
pretty
their
cool.
new
And
plans.
also directly support some of your favorite creators, including ourselves and other people who you may watch.
Yo.
Or just
Yeah.
us, because we're, yeah.
We're the best. I mean,
Wow.
We're pretty
It could
cool,
just be us.
you know?
But I mean, they've got other people like Channel Awesome and
Channel
Linus
Awesome.
Tech
Link.
Tips and
the Russian
Red and Link.
tips.
I feel like Rhett and Link's always the go-to example because I watch them all the time. So
Epic
Sorry
Mealtime
about
is pretty
that.
great.
I've only
but
recently started watching Epic Mealtime. I think they're a little far out of our
Metaphysics
audience.
is cool.
They are a little bit, but the Nostalgia Critic.
They like food.
I'm so excited the Nostalgia Critic.
Don't our
Yeah, they
audience
could-
eat food? I mean,
they cook spaghetti just like the rest of us.
They consume a lot of things that's not just food, though.
Right.
Okay, I keep telling them, don't eat the pieces.
Wow.
Anyway, but yeah, do that.
And
And if you're,
Ricky now?
say for instance you're poor, don't have any money or anything, that's totally fine. Just kill your parents and steal their credit card.
Okay.
I mean, that
Don't
did
do
it.
that.
the
So-
opinion of all
Shush,
is not
don't-
necessarily that of
Don't
TTV
do that.
as a whole.
Instead, just go over to Vessel and watch our content like normal. You don't have to pay anything. Just watch it when it comes out, and it still supports the show, helps us out quite a lot, more so than on YouTube. It's still a great time, and that's no money required. So
Yeah, and
help us out.
TTV didn't make Batman.
Please
Yeah.
don't kill your parents.
And in the instance that you did
guys.
happen to kill your parents when I told you to, which you probably shouldn't have done, but now that you've done it, you got to commit anyway. So you should head over to the TTV store at store.ttvpodcast.com and buy a T-shirt while you're at it. Might as well
What,
before
for
you
the
get
Buy
arrested.
all your T-shirts of your parents' credit card money. Why don't you?
Yeah, I mean they're dead.
I
They're
mean,
not even
as
needed.
long as you're listening to what we're saying, you know, just following us blindly. Might as well.
This is pretty morbid for me.
And at the very end of it all, viewers, we have this nice big pitcher of Kool-Aid that you can get refreshments from anytime you like.
Don't know what he's talking
I'm
about?
sorry,
Check out
I
an
think
audiobook
I'm in
about it
the-
on audible.com. audibletrial.com/TTV. And you can hear all about the cults of the world. There's a good book about cults somewhere in Audible, so
How do you know?
look up that Kool-Aid stuff.
Because he probably wrote
There's
it.
gotta be one.
I wrote it. The Cult of Kahi.
Somewhere
You have a
there's
cult?
someone out there who has seriously just murdered their parents. Some people on the internet told
Oh,
them.
man.
Great.
No, our
Another
audience
one?
isn't that
Another
smart.
one.
Another
We haven't
one.
said Bionicle yet, so they haven't been listening.
Oh right, the keyword.
So none of
That's like the
previous
trigger
stuff
word. They're
even
like
happened.
they're like a secret FBI
Yo,
agent.
yo.
You need to say like
They're like a
Like a
Bionicle
sleeper agent?
to trigger
A
them.
sleeper agent trigger word?
Yeah, that's the one.
yeah.
Bionicle.
that
and
one.
Var, what about our website deal, the poll?
Oh yeah, be sure to if you're planning on getting a T-shirt, be sure to vote on the shirt of March poll on board.ttvpodcast.com. You get yourself a nice little discount, free shipping on your shirt. Really, really
In the United
good.
States.
Hey, Var.
Save you a couple bucks.
Do we get discounts as employees? Do we get
No,
discounts?
you don't. Listen, if I have to pay full price, you have to pay full price.
Yeah, Kahi.
But do you have to pay full price?
Is there
Yes,
like
I do.
a Norwegian?
LJ, in
like
fact, we have to pay
50% off?
more
We do have
than
to pay
anyone
more.
else does because the price of the shirt is like not 17. It's like $20. We have to pay like $24
Oh,
because we have
trust
to
me.
buy it individually. We can't buy it in bulk. So yeah.
Yeah, right.
I found that out pretty recently.
Yeah. So no, we
Man, we
do
really
we do
support
not get a
ourselves.
discount at all. We quite the opposite.
So,
We get a pro count.
I don't like that. There's nothing about that is funny to me.
What? Just get a friend to order it for you, then, and then you get the.
where do you get the word pro count?
Because
It's a
pro-
discount, not a con count.
He's
It's
not
like,
wrong.
if anything,
Okay,
the
what's the
opposite of
opposite
a
of this?
discount would be like a complicount. Because you're complimenting
the
instead of
opposite
No,
of
this
discounting.
is
Yeah,
complicated.
a
I
compliment.
don't know, like if you say like discontinued, you can say pro continued.
No, you can't. You just made that up.
Anything, and then it becomes the opposite. It's like, oh, there's var, and there's pro var. Just what?
Consider me pro-triggered.
We
Continued.
I'd say
maybe
the TTV
instead of
podcast
progress,
is
we can
disheveled.
distress.
I know.
What's the opposite of a pro? A pro?
a pro.
Pro Quo.
This
I
episode.
swear. Also, real
Isn't
quickly
the opposite
about
of
that,
pro an amateur?
about
No,
that whole
it's pro, dude.
The opposite of pro is
I'm
pro.
anti-
I am
Pro.
completely lost at this
TTV
point.
186 Pro Quo.
You know what I like? Propane.
No.
Let's get back on the status quo,
No,
pros.
LJ.
What's the
I like
opposite of
propane.
pro?
Dispain.
This pain.
No, it's
Wait, what is the
T-Pain.
opposite? What is the opposite of this? Actually, I'm legitimately
It's
asking
that.
now because like
Except
I was like, yeah, pro continued obviously not a word, but this
Obviously. After it got shot down by everyone else on the podcast.
no, I mean like, what does pro continued mean?
It's not a word. It doesn't mean
That's what we were all wondering.
Pro continued is nothing.
so real quickly about that whole
Disorientation.
poll on the website. There are two shirts up right now.
But there's really
Many
only
Faces of
one.
X.
I'm pretty sure there's only one shirt.
Oh well, to be quite fair, yeah. For the poll, there are two shirts: Many Faces of X and Knack and J. Great naming convention, VAR. And boy,
It's
Many
a
Faces
parody of
X.
Calvin and Hobbes. Ha ha ha.
Is it? That's stupid.
You're stupid.
Then don't vote for it then, Ben.
I'm pro-stupid.
Just stupid.
Well, I am dis stupid. Okay.
Here's something I found online. What is the opposite of dis? There's no real opposite. Dis is from disrespect, a grossly overused word. What's wrong with simply saying someone was rude to you instead of he disrespected me? Jargon, that's all it is.
There is a difference between being rude and
Wow, so that was the most useless answer I've ever heard. He went into a whole thing about like,
No,
okay, you know
Kahi,
what? Just say there's no
Kahi,
answer.
I disagree. The most useless answer I've ever heard was, "Oh no, all those pronunciations are correct."
I pro-agree.
On the contrary, I was gonna say that I don't like using rude because I'm reminded of that certain song that was made. Like,
Oh yeah,
honestly.
friendly.
Don't you mean on the
Why
Rude
you gotta
Sandstorm?
be so rude?
It's a
that
rude
one.
sandstorm.
And a rude sandstorm too. That's a good one.
Hey guys, it's Bionicle, am I right?
stop.
Oh yeah, Bionicle Sandstorm.
There's like no news.
I mean, come on, Meso, we got those killer combo models.
Let's not talk about the
Oh yeah,
combo
the
models.
TwoToa.
The TwoToa.
Yeah.
Okay, that was like, all right. Listen, if you're gonna create a made-up word, make it sound cool, please.
Rip Keita,
Please.
they have
For the
died.
love
I
of
wouldn't speak
everything.
too loudly if I were you.
What's a better
You
name
make
for
up an
them than
awful lot
Kahi?
of
Like
words, but I
brainstorm
have
right
yet
They
now.
all sound great, but like TwoToa does not sound as good as Kaida at all. Like it's not even like.
Wait. Kaida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Kaida.
Kaita?
No.
No,
was
that's a
Kaida.
valid way to say it too.
Yeah.
I always said Kata.
Let's just not
Kahi.
dive into the whole pronunciation.
Good idea.
It's
Toa
valid.
Let's not
Kaita.
start another
no.
pronunciation.
Let us call them the Toa
Kahi.
Good heavens, no.
Yee.
Kahi eater.
Kahida.
Yee.
What is
Kaita,
that?
that
Eat
just
a
it
sandwich.
sounds like it sounds like a cat eating food. I don't.
No, they were pretty stupid. Although
Or
someone
cat
did
eater.
make the
face of a
Galleon
cat eating
Kopaka
food.
TwoToa, posted on Eurobricks, and it's got some interesting design elements. Like
TwoToa.
it's got a cool.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that.
Tua.
Oh, good grief.
It kind of sounds Latin.
Toa.
It sounds like a volcano.
Man, they really gave that to the intern to create the name for it, didn't they?
Yeah.
They're like, all right, make a name for this. Like, yeah, okay, TwoToa.
Looks like they gave it to the
TwoToa.
intern to design too.
Well, I mean, like
Seven.
Tahu and Pohatu's combiner really does not have many redeeming qualities. Like being honest with you, but Galleon Kopaka has a few. Like it's got a cool weapon. It's this huge scissor gun where if you turn the gear, the weapon like opens and closes like scissors, and it can
Really?
chop while it's shooting. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Copyright
actually.
strike by Zach Turn.
Oh,
Wow, is that why?
That's
So
it.
like, is that why Tahu has the rock because Kopaka has scissors?
Yes,
Are you serious? Are you
get it.
kidding me?
Leeway and Onua
Because
must have
scissors
paper.
beats rock.
They must have paper.
How are they
So-
gonna have paper?
What the heck is Kopaka Gali or Kogali's second weapon then?
Some stupid
It's a
sword.
staff. It's the staff of truth.
It looks like Witch Doctor's little rattle.
It looks like one
put
of
it
those
down,
little
and you're
pingers
like,
that
"Hey."
you use.
Do you like me? And like they'll answer, no matter what.
Wow. Man, every single person on our boards will love that.
Yeah.
That'd be
TTV
great.
talks about relationships, part 3.
Yeah, I think it's just some
Coming
generic.
soon.
It's either like a
Okay.
staff, like they said, like a
On a
witch
relationship
doctor-esque
topic.
staff, or it's like an upside-down dagger sword thing. that,
Well,
like, he flips
Kopaka
around.
just suddenly learns like dark
Upside
magic
down.
and stuff. He's like, ooh.
What kind of dagger is that? That's like,
I don't know.
that's more like a upside down
Dumb kind.
It's a very
pickaxe.
pretty dagger.
Shovel.
And I don't
It's,
even want to know. Like, at least I can look at that when that combined and be like, okay, there's a few cool things here, like the shoulders, whatever's going on with those. Those are creative. But like, I look at Taiwan Bahatu and like, what is that?
I mean, let's
It
be
looks
fair
like,
here. It's hard to do anything good with Pawatu. So
What is that in his left hand? That's stupid.
Yeah, I
shit.
don't know what it
Shoulders
is.
and
Taiwan
Kopaka.
Pahatu's shoulder pads look like the Didact ones. They look like they're just kind of floating.
Yeah.
That's
Rip the
weird.
Didact.
Wow, at least they're not antlers. Good grief, Kahu. Or
well, those are actually coming out of his
Tahatu.
back, not his head. And also, if you look at it, they're basically like 2 more arms.
Oh no, you're right. They do have hands.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they've got hands.
They
so-
do have hands.
Oh boy.
That's just creepy then.
That's a bit
Yeah, that
weird.
just looks
It
terrible.
looked like
That's
Speed
like
a
one of
Demon.
those,
Oh yeah, yeah. It reminds me of just everyone goes silent immediately because only me and Meso knows what we're talking about. But yeah,
let's
it
do
reminds
this.
me a lot of
Speed a
Speed a
Demon
Demon,
is.
actually.
HF
It's pretty
fans
good.
unite.
Yay!
Hey,
No.
hey, listen. I know
Hey,
who
speaking
Speed
of,
a Demon is.
Oh, neat.
HF
I'm sorry.
fans
Speaking of
disassemble,
HF
please.
fans, as of 2 hours ago, the HF.com website got taken down.
Yeah.
No!
Yeah. Yeah, the,
Oh, gosh.
Var, dang it. I
Man,
was just
that's
gonna
gonna
mention that
upset
too.
like 3 people.
They're just taking it down so they can prepare for the movie.
Are you
That's what
kidding
they're
me?
doing.
When you type it in, it redirects to Bionicle.
Oh, that's great.
Screw you, Lego.
Oh wow, Meso, you're really
That's
passionate
probably
all of
the-
a sudden.
That's probably the
betrayed
best
me.
live reaction we've gotten in a
I
while.
think Meso's entering puberty, guys.
They took-
I mean, he's finally hit it. He's no longer 12. He's like 12 and a half now.
Sounds like the most angry I've ever heard Meso.
All the episodes
Suddenly hit
were up
his
there.
peak
Like,
game
Yeah.
Hey,
rebellion stage.
everyone!
it's not
Look at
bad
you,
enough they
Spider-Man.
took down Breakout to replace it with their stupid brain attack redesigned website. Now all the episodes
I have to
were up
imagine
on
that this is
site.
what Kylo Ren was like in his youth.
All the episodes were up on that website. You could watch like all the HF episodes last I checked, and now like I don't even know where you'd find them. I don't know if they're on YouTube.
Yeah, you can't.
Maybe they are,
Find them
but like
You can
There's
find them in
always
our
some
old
guy
deleted
somewhere.
videos on our channel.
savage. I'm gonna go check on YouTube because I may be able to salvage this. But like, that's the biggest insult ever. Like it redirects to Bionicle.
I think
Biggest insult ever, guys. Like,
No, I mean,
holy
like,
crap.
if it redirected to, like, you know, the
Galador.
trashbin.lego.com.
Okay.
Or, like,
Okay,
terrible
fair enough.
ideas that lost us money.lego.com.
But
That might be an insult.
Fair.
It
Fair
like it follows you. It directs you to a link of like the biggest bombs in Lego purchasing history.
Oh, biggest? Like fat?
Okay.
And callback.
All the episodes are up on Lego's YouTube channel. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Oh,
It's been
okay.
salvaged.
That's why they took them from us.
Phew.
for now,
For now.
Is there labeled, like, Hero Factory episode I Don't Care?
It's
Why did we
actually,
fund this stupid series?
I'll say it's actually in Japanese. The title is, but the episode's in English.
You can't find it. Oh, perfect.
Japanese
Maybe-
text
maybe
Lego
it's in
Hero
Japanese
Factory
English.
Series episode 8.
Japanglish.
No. There's. Oh, okay.
Have we talked about those really awful designer videos that Lego put up on their website?
Okay,
I don't
I
think
didn't
so.
even see them,
I
but I
haven't
heard they
seen
were
them.
quite cringeworthy.
They were very cringy. It's I mean, this is old news. This is not new stuff at all. These have been on here for like a couple weeks now. I mean, I like them. Like they're nice and everything, but man, these guys are just not good in front of the camera.
Sometimes you get that.
Which
Sometimes
videos are you referring to? Is it where they have like the really upbeat intro, like do 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 Like, is it that the one, or is that something completely different? That's a
not
completely
that
different
one.
thing. All right, never mind.
Yeah, it's a
then.
different thing.
Let's just.
If you go on the Bionicle website and go to the videos section,
mean
you'll
the
see
Hero
a bunch of
Factory
designer
website?
videos.
Oh, it's for Bionicle.
Yeah, the Hero Factory website.
Oh.
No, yeah,
no,
yeah,
Bionicle,
not Hero
Designer
Factory.
videos.
Bionicle. I was.
There's the
confusing.
one where there's the guy and the kid, and then there's the. I guess they did one that was meant to be watched by kids, and then 2 others that were meant to be watched by adults.
Yeah.
And yeah, the kid one was very very cringy.
Yeah.
They also referred to Tahu as the main character of Bionicle.
I mean, let's
Oh, boy.
he
So,
basically.
Take
I
that.
mean,
Take that with what you will.
It's basically
I
true.
would have to disagree with that. No, I'm kidding.
Like,
I mean, really though, like, is that wrong?
It's not wrong in the slightest.
No, it's not really wrong.
Yeah, let's be real here.
Side
Tahu
note.
kind of is.
Side note, I never subscribe to the official Lego channel. I don't like
I
subscribing.
mean, nor
to
do
that
I.
channel.
They have a lot of videos.
Because they will release the same video several different times in different languages, and that's just, it clogs up my subscription feed. I hate that. I wish there was just like, like they do have different channels. I don't know why they put these on the different channels. They all release at the same time. I don't know why that's all like set to go across the board at the same time. But
Same
it's
kind.
just that's fine. It's basically just. Good grief. You guys are like the worst.
What's going on?
I'm bringing up
us
a
more,
legitimate point.
Please.
I'm giving
Give
you
us
guys a
more.
legitimate point about the actual content.
Legitimate point.
That's what's said correctly.
I wasn't laughing at
Is
you. I
it
was
the
laughing
Hero
at a picture I
Factory
found.
thing?
I love how the set's like looking down, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like ashamed of itself.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah,
should
geez,
play
Kahi,
like
it's not all about
Stormer,
you.
okay?
I'm gonna post a picture of the video. Anyway, carry on.
someone should play like trap music behind like Kahi's rants. It'll sound exactly like modern
you
day
laughing
music.
at
I hate trap music so much. It's
I'm
none of my
sorry,
mystery.
Kahi,
Trap
what
music's
was your
pretty
legitimate point to the audience? can
My
hear?
legitimate point is that it takes forever for someone to see like his content because they make a billion videos. You can't find what you're looking for. Like right now, I'm trying to find this video. There's literally about 4 or 5 of the same video, again and again and again, all the way down. And they release a new video just about like every day. So now it's taken me about. Like, I have to scroll down. I have to keep reloading the page, scrolling down
Savage.
about 5 times to get to a month ago. Just because there's so many videos of some
There's
time.
so much
and that's
Lego
probably
Friends
why.
right now.
That's probably why their videos don't get that much traction sometimes.
I'd wager
Meso,
that.
we're trying to host a show. Can you stop posting funny pictures in the chat? Thank you.
Meso, stop posting memes. Or memes, sorry.
Yeah.
It's called May May, bro.
I've never.
Mimi! It's Mimi!
Dude,
That's some
I
pretty
know
sweet
people
memes.
who used to
Watch me
call
whip.
that.
Watch me, man.
They're just like, yeah, memes. I'm like, what? What?
I think I used to do that.
And to
No,
be
I like
fair,
calling them
there's
memes.
no,
Now watch me
there's
whip.
no real
Now
reason
watch
why
me
I know
May,
there's
May.
memes.
Watch me win.
Wait, was there romance in Chima?
Yes, there was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
remember Laval and the
we're really sad
the
there
girl?
was.
Laval
That
is not
lioness is a
canon.
really big chin.
Yeah, her face looks like photoshopped onto a lion's body.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks photoshopped into a lion's body? Is that what a lion's
Really?
body usually looks like?
Well, like, you know what I mean? It just looks.
No, I don't.
Look like they.
No,
doesn't
we
look like-
kind of
I
puzzled.
don't know.
Is that a legitimate point?
It still looks weird. It looks weird in the animation.
You look
It
weird.
just doesn't.
Out.
No, I mean, it looks printed like it's a decal
Oh, no.
because it is
Yes.
kind of a decal. It's just
You
texture.
hide yourself already. I dread to think what you look like.
That's true.
Ouch.
Oh,
that hurt.
man.
If I were a banana, that hurt right in the peels.
Only a
He's
coward hides behind a mask.
He's like
Only
the
a
Phantom
moron
of the
makes a
Mask.
joke
He's
like
so
that.
ugly. He's afraid nobody will love him.
All right.
Oh man.
Well.
Let's actually talk about something, Meso.
yeah.
Lead us
What
to
were we even
something.
talking about? Like.
Well, here's the thing, Kahi. Did you watch Journey to One?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was pretty great.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
There's an article about it that's
Eljay.
coming out, so read that.
Just post that, dude.
Listen,
I
Eljay.
looked at the drafts and I was like, that looks cool. Why hasn't it been posted yet? It's done.
Yeah, I was like, hey guys, take a look at it and tell me what if you want anything to change. And you're like, all right, cool. And that
It
was
looks
just
cool. I'll post it.
I didn't even know you wrote it one.
Post that toast, Kai. But yeah.
All right, I'll post it.
Cool. Yeah, it was a cool show.
Is this
Normally
the
when we
May episode?
Maybe.
It's mem.
I
Mem.
rewatched Junior
Mem?
1 a few days ago finally, and in my opinion of it improved substantially. Like the first time there were a handful of jokes that like I actively disliked, but some of them I didn't like connect with and I just didn't laugh. This time I actually found a good majority of them legitimately funny. And I
Your
did
new one's
chuckle.
come under fire in a lot of social media. A lot of people have been complaining about stuff. in
Quite
it,
a lot
and
of
I'm like,
people.
it's not that bad.
Some notable people in the community were like, just name a couple things, didn't like the writing, didn't like the dialogue, didn't like the prologue, they didn't interpret it like we did, they just like say, oh, they're lazily recycling animations. And like,
Why does it need to be funny though? Like the
I
series.
feel like
I mean,
people
Lego
like that. They live boring lives. Like they wake up in the morning, they eat some oatmeal, but without raisins.
Or they're like me, where they just kind of wanted a little more.
You see, I'd agree with you, Ven, if I hadn't have read these.
people are harsh.
You'd agree with you if you actually ate the raisins in your oatmeal.
Well, it's like X, to answer
Alright,
your
let's-
question, someone like says, why does it have to be funny? Well, I touched upon this briefly last
Eat the
episode.
raisins in your oatmeal.
it's not a sitcom, is it?
Well,
it's not like boom, boom, boom,
Now,
boom.
listen, it doesn't have to be like constant
House.
firing on all cylinders, jokes. I would like to expect from a theme like Bionicle, we would have a plot and some like some level of seriousness to it. But I think a lot of people have this unrealistic expectation for a Bionicle show that simply will not ever be achieved so long as it's a Lego property. Because even though Bionicle does
Yeah.
sometimes skew older, it's still a Lego property, and they do market to kids, and kids connect with humor. Like, why do you think the TOA are so young and so like adolescent? It's because
Bouncy.
it's to make them
I
relatable.
I don't
kids.
know. I don't agree with that per se. I feel like there's a lot of smart kid shows being done right now. There's a lot of smart stuff being put out by now.
And they're
the
all
thing-
based on being random.
I mean,
I know-
Avatar:
well,
The Last Airbender had plenty of comedy.
Well, that's
Yeah,
we're
it's
past
not
that
necessarily
age now.
comedy. I don't think the comedy is like the deal here. I feel like it's Lego has they're not committing the same way to Bionicle like they did with almost anything else.
I mean,
Like
I agree
Netflix-
with you there.
Or not Netflix. Ninjago
I
got a
agree
show
with you
immediately.
completely
Shima got a show
there.
immediately.
They've been like
Next to
so
next.
scared to do anything with Bionicle. I'm not sure why.
And-
I'm not sure if it's a budgetary
I
concern.
I
or
do know
just
why.
don't
It's
have the
because
faith.
Bionicle doesn't sell as well as the other toys.
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
That would probably be it. If I had to honestly say it, I don't know for sure. That's not a confirmation or anything.
No, yeah, I
I'm
think
just
it's pretty.
assuming-
It's pretty easy.
Yeah,
to
I would assume that's why it's not doing all too well.
Kahi,
So.
the other thing you mentioned, Meso was saying that the reason Bionicle will never really achieve that certain level of expectation is because it's a Lego show. And while you're right, there are a lot of children's TV shows that are doing a lot of, really cool things. Would you say any of them are Lego shows? Do you think a Lego show could ever be like, I don't know, Avatar?
I mean, the
ever
way you're
be,
saying
yeah.
Lego show, it sounds like it's basically synonymous for bad show. So
Right,
No,
exactly.
no,
You're
I
like,
don't
Like
think.
video game movie.
I don't think.
yeah, exactly.
Do you mean like the amount of depth, like something?
There's
like
a certain
the
archetype
Last
for
Airbender?
Lego programs and Lego themes in general, and it tends to stay consistent for all of their action themes that get made into shows. A team of people, typically younger people, who have there's a lot of slapstick comedy, lots of jokes. There is an undercurrent plot, but they're usually hunting for something as the main plot, some items or masks
Griffin.
or
It's the baby
things,
Avengers.
and then they go collect the things, and they team up and fight the villain. And that typically follows for every single show they've done, except for HF, which had no collectibles.
well, it's partially because I feel that Lego at some point wants to control the story for these shows. I don't know how much of that show's done by the story team, how that's handled by Lego, but a lot of the good shows I'm thinking of are shows first and then they sell the toys after the show is popular.
Exactly.
Which doesn't necessarily work for Lego, and I can see why, because they're a toy company first, they don't produce stories. But I was kind of hoping with Netflix that they'd be able to completely commit to doing a really good, like Netflix would handle the show part, and they would handle the toy part, and that would be a symbiotic relationship that really works.
Likewise.
And I felt, I liked Journey to the One. I felt it was perfectly serviceable. I thought it was pretty good for what it was. It's the best Bionicle thing I've seen in a while. Now, is it like stellar? Is it amazing? Is it like the best, a really great children's show? I can't really say so. But it's only 4 episodes. There's a lot of limitations, you know.
Yeah.
But even still, I feel like there's stuff missing, of course.
I feel like there's potential with what we got. I don't think what we have right now is the best that this product could be. And I think that's partially due to the budget it was given and the short amount of time it actually had to convey its story.
Yeah.
But I think if this did well and Lego sees that and they do more, I think this could very well be a very good show.
That is the thing. Like, if you want to see more of this, just watch it again on Netflix. I know some people are going around and they're trying to torrent it or like get some stream it online. This is the one thing that, like, if you're a Bionicle fan, you are literally killing the show by not doing this. Netflix, all it counts is the amount of people that view it. If you view it somewhere else, they don't know that there's a good enough amount of people watching it, and there's not a huge amount of
that
Bionicle
reminds
fans
me
watching
actually,
stuff on
Kahi.
Netflix.
There were a couple of arguments on our website against that.
I recall this.
What you just said. Yeah, there was one guy that was saying, "Well, I don't have Netflix anyway, so they're not going to get my view anyhow. So what's it matter at that rate?"
I mean, okay, like the thing is, like,
Well,
Get Netflix
more
then,
than
bro.
The difference that's really flawed logic because that guy is saying they're not going to get my view anyhow, but they did get your view if you're pirating it. You still watch the show. You still consume the product. You just didn't pay for it.
right.
What he's just trying to kind of find a better way of wording stealing, but it's still stealing at the end of the day.
And it's like, I mean, it's not like
He's trying to excuse it.
a normal cable show where you have to have a $60, $80 cable subscription a month to view this at a point in time. This Netflix costs $8. Okay, it's $8 a month. There's a freaking free month you can get if you sign up.
But Kahi, what if you don't have a credit card and your parents won't let you get Netflix?
What that guy said was basically the equivalent of, well, I went to a hot dog stand, but I didn't have any money, so it's not like I was going to eat his hot dog anyway, so I just took it.
Yeah,
It's the same
basically.
thing.
Basically.
Well, not quite, because
Well, okay.
the hot dog is a limited resource.
Right, exactly.
You're not
And
consuming like any physical
Maybe
material
if he's
by
like, well, I
watching or
magically
pirating somewhere else.
duplicated the hot dog and I took it away.
But-
It's still kind of stealing.
Minecraft
Data's not
just in a
infinite
different
either.
way. What? Yes, it is.
No,
Data's infinite.
no.
Welcome to the infinite.
Haha, call back.
I mean, it's basically infinite. It's data
Not
can be.
Not
Basically,
really.
but it's not completely infinite.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
it
still
is.
need a
It's
physical.
information.
You still need a physical place for the data to go to.
No, you
like
need a physical place for the internet to come from, right? To duplicate it, but when you duplicate it, you don't.
Well, we're talking about
depreciate
data,
that
not the
original
internet.
data. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about
The
data.
hot
All
dog
the-
was
all
actually
the
made of
internet.
consumable materials. The show is literally just a sequence of ones and zeros.
It is
that can be
information.
Yes,
that
but-
is.
We
that
got
is,
all those data in
data.
our internets.
So, okay, Kahi, how about this?
Okay.
So what if you're a kid
Yes.
and your parents don't have Netflix and they don't want you to have Netflix, and so you don't have access to their credit card? Then what do you do?
All right, then you just. I mean, listen. I'm saying that, like, if
Grow
you do
up.
this, that's fine. You just can't actually. You can't complain about Bionicle not getting a TV show or Bionicle not being represented anymore, because this is the one chance for them to actually invest in the TV show, and you're squandering your chance to support it. Like, you're actively just not going to do that. Cool.
Right. And I mean,
They're
like,
just gonna wait until they're closing up Bionicle and join the BBB.
listen, I mean, it is one thing when you can't, there's just no way to actually watch it. Like,
Yeah, so people keep
when
watching
you
their
don't
country.
have you don't have a credit card and you just you've asked your parents and they said no. Okay, fine. That doesn't give you an excuse to go and pirate it, no. But okay, fine. You can't actively support it. All right, that sucks. But for the people that can, I don't understand why they would download this. It doesn't make any sense to me.
If they're, I mean, if,
Because they don't
especially if
wanna
they
pay
want
money.
a Bionicle TV show. That's the thing. You have to realize this isn't like this isn't Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead. There's not like a huge amount of people, like 4 million people watching this, and you're just like an extra one there. Bionicle has a very small fan base.
Counts.
Your view legitimately counts because this is a very small show.
Bionicle more so than
it,
most
the
other
more you
LEGO
get.
themes. Like, participation
Right.
counts because it is construction. It's a niche right off the bat. So, like, purchases count more, I'd say, than for the bigger system themes.
I mean, we know this
And-
like more than anybody else. We're like the biggest Bionicle channel. We're nowhere close to like anywhere of the Lego channels.
No.
You know, the bigger Lego channels that are around. We're like a fraction of their size. So Bionicle's only a fraction of the Lego entire market. You know, people that will watch Lego stuff don't even really look at Bionicle.
Nope.
Even
Yeah,
at
you go to-
Brick
you go to
Fair,
a-
where every single theme has its own table. You have your Knights theme and your Space theme and all these different tables. Everything that's made with Technic, be it Mindstorms, Bionicle, Hero Factory, it's all just kind of shoved under the Bionicle umbrella and given one table.
Yeah.
Granted, that table has had to become much, much larger as the years go on, but
Yeah, it's a very
still,
small
it's just
fraction.
kind of the shunned theme.
For as large of a
It's like it's not the
community
traditional
as,
brick.
as like construction has, it's not that big. And it was great because a while back, pardon me if I cannot pronounce his name properly, Jorgen Vig Nudstorp, the CEO of LEGO.
Jorgen von
I guess
Strangle.
it's
It's
more like
pronounced
Jorgen.
Jorgen.
My bad. He
Jorgen.
did an interview
Jorgen von
recently.
Strangle.
He did an interview, and he was asked about what sorts of improvements people may be able to expect in the future. And one of the first examples of things they mentioned was the future of the character and creature building system used in Star Wars. And I was like, nice. So Star Wars is going to become the poster child for CCBS now, which makes sense. It's Star
Makes
Wars.
sense.
But like Bionicle just gets
Star
cast
Wars,
to the
man.
wayside to gather dust.
I mean, like, you can't compete with Star
Back
Wars.
in my day, Bionicle was the great new theme.
I mean, like, really, I do think that it has to do with atmosphere. I do feel like it has to do with marketing. I do feel like there's a difference in how Bionicle is marketed nowadays. And
Oh,
that
definitely.
might have changed the public perception of Bionicle as a whole. I know a lot of people have nostalgia for it. And I mean, does this still like strike me as a surprise how many people I know that go to like my college or in my apartment complex that whenever I mention I do a Bionicle thing, they're like, oh yeah, dude, Bionicle, I had those. And they don't know it's back.
Definitely, like I mentioned this on TTV Talks about Nintendo, and we had to like shut up because like you mentioned about marketing and how it has changed over the years. Like compare, I don't know, the Bow Rock ad, and then compare that to Creeps from the Deep, and then compare that to The Evil Hunter has stolen the mask of control. Unite to stop him. And then that stupid generic guitar riff they always play in the background.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And like that's
because,
nowadays marketing. It has evolved and changed, not necessarily for the better.
I mean, this is coming from the perspective of someone who was marketed to that way, and which it worked. So I'm not the best person to come from because obviously it worked on me. That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
You know, Bionicle, that whole like, you know, this is they focused a lot on like these are robots, but this is also like punk rock band way of saying
Move along.
The Bionicle is kind of like. Move along a bit more like wrong, but like stuff like, you know, Cryo Shell is it's a pretty decent band. It's a pretty like, you know, I don't know, hardcore is the way to put it, but like they're not the type of band you would expect to promote
They're like
kids on.
keen, angsty.
Exactly.
Right, they're kind of like, you know,
It
they're
was
kind of like
something
I do
angry
like
and
my
rock.
It was
Rocky.
something quite different from most other LEGO themes at the time.
It had a good feel about it. And
Creeping in My Soul, Gravity Hurts, Closer to the Truth, Bye Bye Babylon, all these like iconic songs from that latter era of Bionicle, which was the era it had started to decline in sales-wise, but it's still
Gravity Hurts wasn't by Cryo Shell. It was by Edson and Malta.
my bad. But like it had all of those classic songs and classic marketing and stuff that people remember,
Hey, Ben.
and nowadays it's like there's just nothing. There's a void.
yeah. I did not know Crashed was by Daughtry, by the way. I didn't know Daughtry
Oh,
did
yeah.
a Bionicle song. I also did not know Daughtry was a comic book artist. Did you guys know that?
Wait, what?
Chris
no way.
Daughtry? He's a comic book artist. He drew one of the covers for Batman vs. Superman.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
Also,
yeah,
Ben.
I'll link you his cover. I mean, like, yeah, give me a second.
I actually got to go to one of his concerts once. It was like an outdoor concert. It was great.
Nice. What's up, Eljay?
Yeah, Ven, Gravity Hurts is by Cryo Shell.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
Gravity Hurts is by Cryo Show.
There's a new one by It's both.
Yeah.
There was the original one was like Edson and Malta, and now they've redone it with what's her face, the one that has
The original one was still by Cryoshell. It was it was their third song.
It's on their album, Spotify.
I can't remember if it was at least one of the two people who sang it did go on to join Cryoshell, but I'm pretty sure they still recorded that before they formed the band.
Maybe, but
I'm lucky enough to have a signed Cryoshell album. It's pretty awesome.
you complain about it every time you
When
talk
I
about it.
complain about it.
You go, I have this. I think I'm gonna sell it.
I've never done that. I would never
really
sell
use
it. It's such a great memorabilia piece.
The first time I've ever heard.
I've
you say
never
that.
actually listened to it because physical CDs, am I right? But like, I have it around.
But yeah, no, it's a Cryoshell song. It was let's see, the original version of Gravity Hurts featuring Niles Brinkt on vocals was used for the Bionicle Pantopia campaign.
Niles,
yada, yada.
isn't it Niels?
Niles
River.
Niels space.
Oh, it's IE. Oh, maybe then. I don't know.
But yeah, it's Cryoshell. That was important. I don't know how, but there you go.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, is that just nostalgia? Like, honestly speaking, guys, do you think that's just nostalgia? Thinking like how cool that was and stuff?
I mean,
was it just,
being
like,
cool,
as a
being
kid?
cool
I
is
think you were an
subjective.
angsty teen.
Being cool is completely
Wait,
subjective.
what nostalgia?
Like thinking the advertising for Bionicle was better in G1, or like the feel
I still
Bionicle,
like all
the
those
atmosphere.
songs.
I still like
I
them
still
too.
listen to them.
I'm thinking like, is that just nostalgia
Yeah.
because I was there and I like that, and
No.
that's why, or is it like, I mean, is that feel what Lego should be emulating now?
I mean, listen.
I honestly don't know.
It's completely
like, I'm not removed from the
subjective.
situation enough.
People who like Cryoshell, I'm sure some do. I'm sure there's some people that don't and thought it was too like they were trying too hard for Bionicle.
Edgy.
Yeah, trying to be too edgy.
Right,
I'm
right,
sure
right.
there
Yeah.
are people like that. But I think it's a symptom of a larger issue. If you look at that and you look at the commercials Bionicle used to have, the fully CG, multiple minute long, almost mini movies rather than commercials, and then you look at what we have today, granted, it should be said, in the Ignition trilogy through the end of Bionicle, we had these epic CG commercials with music, and nowadays we have a Netflix show. So, I think it may be comparable, it's just the format is different. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but in G1 we
Yeah,
had
but it
Nog.
doesn't feel any like it feels different.
I mean, it totally feels
Like, if you
different.
look at that Toa Mari mini movie, and you look at the Netflix show. The tone is
Well-
different. The writing's different.
The reason
Well, it's just a
voice
different
acting
show,
is
man.
I do think the age demographic is also different. I think in Bionicle they were trying to kind of grow up with the fan base, especially when it stopped pulling in a lot of new fans because the lore got too confusing. I think with New Bionicle they tried to roll back the clock to ground zero and appeal to a demographic younger than what G1 did in the later years of its run. And I think they are skewing younger this go around. Which is why it may not be clicking with us as much, because we grew up through G1. We're like past that.
I think also Bionicle was quite a fresh idea when it first came out in the early 2000s. Like, you hadn't had that mix of tribal kind of robot sci-fi thing before, and then it went to sci-fi,
Masks.
but you still had these fans who were obviously coming this age where they were more angsty and everything. And also, I can agree that the commercials look a lot better than the original ones, simply because they feel a lot more like a movie than they do like a commercial.
Totally.
Like these ones, there's nothing bad about the new ones,
Cinematic,
but they're
yeah.
commercial. But in the Bo-Rock one, for example,
Yeah.
it felt like a movie. When you first watch it, it's like an alien-esque type of atmosphere where you have the Bo-Rock coming out the eggs or the
It
I don't
is.
know what they're called, the
cocoons.
cells or whatever.
Yeah. No, it is true because Ghost was they're the studio that worked on all that, and Ghost became a movie animation studio over time. Like they started foraying into movies. They have always had that cinematic feel to their
Yeah.
to whatever they did basically.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny though. But do they do movies now? Do they actually animate large-scale movies?
Then they work on
I don't
Pacific
know. I don't
Rim.
think Ghost is producing movies.
'Cause-
They helped with movies. I don't think they've animated completely their own movie. I don't
Okay,
think
because let's
that's a
hope
thing
they
yet.
don't write and direct them. Hi, Hero Factory, Invasion from Below.
I think that. I think Invasion from Below is the best out of the Hero Factory specials. 100%.
It is so easy
Really?
to trigger you, man.
Yeah, 100%. All the other ones
They
are
were
terrible.
so bad. No one had any idea what they were doing, and like the only
It
one
looked.
only Breeze tried to like make everyone at peace, and then they just shoot
I
each other.
feel. I feel that I feel that all the inherent flaws in Invasion from Below come from Hero Factory, the line. Just being a bad line to make a thing out of. It's not a very conductive line to really good storytelling. It looked the best.
I don't think that necessarily excuses it.
Oh no,
think-
man. I feel
I
like
think
Invasion
so.
from Below had some potential.
Oh, it definitely had
I think
potential.
it did very
if
well.
the Bionicle show was, if Journey to 1 was bad, it's not because it's Bionicle. It's because it's bad.
Right, but Hero Factory is bad because Hero Factory is kind of bad.
I thought
Let's-
Breakout was
See,
fun.
Hero Factory had a lot of potential.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it
No,
absolutely
it
did.
did not. It did not. Really.
HF from
Come on,
HF
Cameron,
from
that's
Word
pretty-
Go from concept alone had the potential to be better than anything Bionicle ever did.
Yeah.
Whoa, what the? Okay.
But the
No.
sole
Salver
virtue
man being
of
triggered
having
right there.
No.
the whole virtue of having a galaxy-wide
Yeah, that's-
story
that's not-
and a
that's
team that
not
can be
right.
Come
dispatched
on.
to any planet to deal with any situation ever. It was way less constrained than Bionicle was. It had way more potential for storytelling.
That's not
really.
even
That's
close.
bad.
I
really.
can't say
That's
I agree
like,
with you
all
there,
right,
Meso.
that's what it is. Yeah, I can't. It's like, oh well, obviously that means the greatest franchise must be the Green Lanterns, right? Because they can go to any planet.
I mean, listen.
I mean,
when
well,
you have,
obviously
when you
not.
have
I kinda
open
understand what
stories,
Meso's
galaxy-wide stories, you tend to have more potential for interesting storytelling. Just look at Mass Effect.
Listen, I'm not saying potential.
Pretty sure everyone
in
hated the
terms
way
of
that
like
ended.
what you can't do.
HF could have HF could have
so
been Lego
bad, Jesus.
Mass
You're
Effect.
here's what you're saying though. You're saying that like, well, because of the fact that they possibly might have done something good, maybe at some
I mean,
point.
isn't that-
therefore, it was better than
isn't that
Bionicle.
potential?
Bionicle, they could have gone to other planets too.
Okay, first of all,
a
that's
thing
not
called
what I
missed
said. You were
potential.
talking about potential, and I said it could have been better than anything Bionicle ever did.
But it didn't.
It
No.
certainly was
Done.
not.
From all we know,
I don't
Bionicle's
think
not
so.
constrained to a single planet either, because we already know there
Yeah.
are other planets out there. At least not in G2.
Yeah,
they
I'm
were
not
going
talking
to go to
about
other
G2.
think-
planets, and they just got canceled.
Talking about
I
G1.
think the great difference here is, while there are other planets, we've always known there've always been a solar system of planets in G1 and G2. The goal was never to necessarily explore them. They
Right.
kind of changed it up toward the end of G1, and we don't have any confirmation we're going anywhere in Gen 2. With Hero Factory, that was an expressed plot point. That was a plot device.
Yeah,
But the issue is
the
that
issue is
I-
not.
it's still this like it's just the other side of the spectrum. Like where before it's like the complaint Bionicle was too constrained as far as where it could go. I think Hero Factory is complete opposite. It's got too much to do that it's hard to actually have any focus or pinpoint any
Like,
actual real
Yeah,
interesting
because-
story.
yeah,
Because there
that's
really
like
wasn't
actual
any
central
interesting
world
story.
What ended up
that's
happening?
focusing on building.
what
We
ended
already
up
know that
happening
Hero
that's-
Factory never really ended up doing anything great with its potential, quote unquote.
Nope.
The only thing I ever thought was ever interesting was the Savage Planet storyline, which even then that was pretty lame and basically just a
Listen,
repeat of
the
what we
thing
got in
is that, like,
2001.
It's not that you're saying that the potential lies in they can have a different background. That's basically what you're getting around to. The potential you're saying the potential of Hero Factory versus the potential of Bionicle. Bionicle has way more potential because it's a more set world at the beginning.
I
Hero
disagree
Factory
completely.
literally is robot police cops.
HF
Bionicle
fit the
has-
Lego mold a lot better. Episodic storytelling, like Bionicle burnt out in the end because like its continuity got too large and they had to cancel it because it was too confusing. HF never really had to worry about that because of its episodic nature.
Bionicle did not get canceled. It did get canceled because of that. The reason it got canceled is because its continuity was hard to follow because they did it through books. And when the books were on sale,
Here
where are you
we
gonna find
go.
the books?
Oh my
No,
god.
I don't
Now
agree
you
with that
lost
either.
my support.
doing
You
this
lost me.
Listen,
lost
my
listen, I
support.
don't know what
Listen.
you have against books, but it wasn't because of the books, okay? It was
No,
because it was
listen
a
to
large
me.
story.
Listen
It's
to
funny
me.
how just like that, Kahi
Yeah, I
falls
know.
off
You
the
had
boat.
me and then you
Why'd
lost
you
me.
have
Listen, let me finish, okay? If
No, you
Bionicle
are finished.
had started with a TV show at the beginning, at the very beginning, and kept that down throughout, I don't think the continuity would have been that big of an issue because more people would
Can we
watch a TV
talk
show and they
about,
find it
like,
easier to
pumpkin
go back and look at that
pie?
TV show.
It doesn't matter what medium it is being
I really
translated
like
through.
pie.
If the story gets too big, it gets too big, no matter what.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's necessarily the books that's the reason. I do agree that it's just The issue was that they gave up on their own continuity and just handed the whole torch over to a single person to control. That was where they fell flat and where it became too complex and convoluted for
Too big.
when halfway through the line you have to rely on a wiki to understand what's going on. You know you done goofed.
That is true in the sense that it became like there was so many information going out everywhere that it was hard to follow the main. What?
Yeah. Okay. And
Come
then
on, LJ. That was a
Sorry.
nice
I will.
word.
I can concede to the point that maybe it wasn't best to have important plot elements that were integral to the main story contained to only just the books.
Right.
I would say
That I
stories
can
series
agree
more
with.
so than books.
The books were the thing that killed it. The thing is that like so much stuff happened that was only in the books. And if you missed the
Important
book,
stuff happened only in the books. That's the
Right.
issue.
Let's burn them.
Like basically, if you were like a general viewer, you didn't follow the books at all. You only knew the first 3 movies, and then maybe you saw some commercials where they're on like they're in a place of a chain link fence, and then they're underwater, and then the Legends of like the Bar Magna, what's it called, the Legend Reborn. That was it. That's
like,
all you got. There's
The
so
issue
much
of
stuff
Bionicle
that
story
happened.
was that it was so you to ingest the story you had to actively go out and seek it yourself.
Right.
That was the issue. It's like it should have been easier to follow what was going on, but it was impossible to because you had to go out and find these other sources of media that weren't readily available to you to actually consume
Don't
the
forget the
story.
web serials.
Honestly, even if there was just a movie made,
Now,
every
web serials
year,
I think would have been probably would have been the better option. If we're going to
the
do
books. Just for widespread, like getting information across.
Yeah, just
this
for
is what
widespread.
happened.
Just some alternative maybe to the books. that
Templar
people
was
can
the
ingest the story
future,
with too.
and they were cut down too quickly.
Right. I mean, yeah, actually, yes, yeah. I mean, think about it. What is the easiest, best thing that we can think of with Bionicle G1 story that was the easiest to follow, most developed thing, and probably all of our favorite parts of the G1 story?
Toys.
It was
Yeah, Templar.
it was Templar Studios. Yeah, it was 01 through like
Not
03.
even just their
And
games. It
why?
doesn't have to be a game. It can
Because-
just be the animations.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the only reason that was so good was because we had multiple ways to ingest the story. It wasn't contained to just the books. We had books, we had games, we had comics. There were several ways to figure out what was going on. You didn't have to go out and actively find something that might not have been available to you because there were free alternatives. But yeah, no, it's just there should have been other ways to ingest the story because G2 started to fall flat when we only had the books to tell us the story, and then the comics, which you could only get in the magazine. And then obviously they started doing the online serials too, which was good. That was a great idea. But the serials were only side stories; they were never the main story. And sometimes you got like maybe like little paragraphs of like what had happened, but barely any real details. Really, if you wanted to know what happened in the story, you had to go to a wiki or you had to go to a fan site like BZ Power to figure out what was going on and talk to other people about it. It was too hard to follow. So I think that's where it fell flat, and that's where they could,
That's
improve
that's
things.
basically what I've always said is that like the problem isn't so much that there were books. The problem is that the books were the only place to get your information. And if you
I
had
agree
to
there.
invest into that, and if you didn't invest into that, you had no idea what was going on. Maybe if you had a subscription to the Lego magazine and you got the comics, that might be a freer like way to do stuff. And to be fair, I feel the comics were more popular than the books. I believe because Lego magazine was
No
like
doubt,
free.
free, yeah.
Yeah, but even still, like that's still a place where you have to actively. Some people did not know about the Lego magazine. Some people didn't know about how to get the story, even when they were invested in seeing that happen.
And nowadays, like with G2, we have animations, books, graphic novels, and Journey to One.
They are doing a good job. Like as much as we give them flack for redoing stuff, like the stuff in books. As much as we give them flack for doing that, at least we do have multiple ways to ingest this story. Kids and people who are interested, they have ways to.
We do have
places
4
to go.
different ways. My problem with it is it's either A, not fleshed out enough, or B, it comes out too late to be relevant. Like if
the most is that it's not fleshed out enough.
If the graphic novel had launched in the summer of 2015, I'd feel a lot more positive about stuff. Because that would be an alternative method of telling that winter story, but it launched at the end of the year when nobody really cared about it, so its impact was not felt all that much. Same with the first book.
if Lego would just go and contact an indie studio and was like, hey, create a adventure game episodic app that will release on all these mobile platforms, that will be like
Bionicle
just like the
Telltale.
olden days. You need to get the atmosphere back to
Can we get it
Bionicle.
back? Could we get it on the website too, like online?
Yeah, sure.
I think Journey to One's the best way to do that. Just have Journey to One be the thing, and with the books.
Yeah,
and Journey to
you know
One.
what? Netflix was the reason I'm so excited for Netflix is that it does do that. Netflix is easily accessed by a bunch of kids. Is their version of Saturday morning cartoons is going on and watching Netflix. So the Netflix show is definitely a way to get that going.
At this
It's a
point,
really
as
great
we
thing.
said last week, Journey to One they've already sunk time and money into it. This is their best hope of G2 making an impact at some point. So we need to put all our eggs in this basket and just support Journey to One hardcore.
Yeah, because listen, this is basically their second try at making a Bionicle show. Now they've already tried the free online short animations. That didn't work.
Didn't really work.
Now they're trying a more traditional format on a paid platform. If this doesn't work, we're probably not going to get anything else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless they just keep
Like, this is the
upgrading,
harsh
and like
truth.
year 1 free animations, year 2 Netflix show, year 3 theatrical movie.
Yeah,
Just
like that would be
the-
it. Maybe I don't think they're gonna invest in it. Like if it took Ninjago this long to get a theatrical movie, it's Bionicle's not gonna get one.
No.
Here's what's basically gonna happen, guys. This is why it's such an important thing to watch the show on Netflix. Either Bionicle is gonna be renewed next year for Netflix to convey that story to, or Bionicle's done. That's it.
Yeah, and
2017, that's it.
This year and the next year are going to be integral because we've already been told Lego plans their lines for 3 years. Mm-hmm. We're coming up to the final year.
Yeah.
Basically,
Right.
a Bionicle.
So the point
everybody.
we have to basically leave you on today is just please heed our words, and no matter what your thoughts are of the Journey to One, stir up a conversation about it. Get people talking about it. We have to
'cause
publicize this.
As of right now, as far as the information released to the public, there are only 2 more set waves to look forward to before Bionicle is done.
Yup.
So, there you go.
Alrighty then.
A harsh reality there.
Yeah,
do you mean
I know,
2
right?
in 2017?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that may not even
Yeah.
be true because Ninjago's 3-year plan, they only got 1 winter wave.
Oh,
No summer
no.
So we might only have 1 more set wave
We
to
might
look
only
forward
have
to.
one
Great.
more set wave, yes. So
Cool.
on that somber
Nice.
note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this week.
I cry every time.
Listen, it's not the end of the world. Just go support Bionicle. It needs it. So
Yeah, BBB will bring Bionicle back.
just like
like they
it
did
the
last
first
time.
I was taking a drink
Man,
of water.
the
I nearly,
shade is
I nearly
real.
just choked on my water that I was drinking.
What is it with you, Meso?
Bro,
You choke on
man.
air.
I took a
you
drink
choke
and
on
I was
water.
like, oh no, he's making a joke.
Do you repulse every
He's
natural
BB
substance in the
bashing.
world?
I gotta laugh. Okay, well, anyway, that's pretty much all for TTV episode 186. Very interesting, multifaceted episode today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Please, everyone, leave your thoughts on Bionicle, the Journey to One, and just basically the current state of Bionicle G2 in the comments section below. And I actually want to know you guys' input about the advertising from G1 to G2, because that's an interesting topic, I think. But for now, that's pretty much all. Check us out on Vessel.com/the TTV channel for 1 week early access to all of our content, and buy a shirt at store.ttvpodcast.com. We'll see you all next week for another exciting episode of the TTV Podcast. I'm Meso.
I'm Barteran.
I'm Eljay. We've lost a lot of weight.
Wow.
I'm Kahi.
I'm Venom.
I am Viper.
Hi, Mom. I'm Takuma.
I think I'm EXX Trooper.
And goodbye, everybody.
Bye. 1 more set wave. Man, that was
TTV?
some hardcore fact
Yeah,
right there. I did not
Depressing
even realize.
realizations.
Yeah,
I know, right? Man, that's so depressing. What a day to leave
And it's
that
gonna
off.
be
I know,
Toa
man.
revamps, too. It's gonna be the
We
third.
was like
basically finished
TTV
Bionicle. That's crazy.
TTV,
We
the
started this-
existentialist podcast.
We started this podcast. We started off like so jovial, like fat TTV, lol. And then eventually it begins to like, are we being nostalgic? Are we just too old and we don't realize it? And
Is this the after show?
it's,
Are we,
no,
like,
now
still
we're like,
recording?
everything we know is coming to an end.
Yep.
All right,
There you go, audience.
shut up.
Goodbye.
Bye.
That's enough.